Did you think we were done having thoughts and opinions about the Georgia football team? No, we saw things and we'll say things next on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back, everybody. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Thanks for making us your first listen of the day, FanDuel.com. More on them in a second. Welcome to Locked On Bulldogs. He is Daniel. I'm Clint. Today, as in every day during the season, we're talking about the Georgia Bulldogs. What impressed us, what was fantastic, what was not so great. And we're going to get to all of that. We're going to get to a little SEC overview as well, because some teams excelled. And then other teams decided that they are really good at yapping them gums, but very bad at literally everything else. We're going to talk
By
about
the way, guy on Twitter, and by guy on Twitter, I mean Danny Cannell. If you think you're hurting me by saying that my team is good and all the rest of the teams in my conference aren't that good, you're not hurting me. You're actually fueling the fire that is me and college football. Like that's what you want.
Keep saying it.
Yeah, please. Say more about how we're good and all the rest of the teams aren't as good. All right, well, we got Georgia thoughts first. Let's jump in. Clint, I gave a little tease on. They might listen to Monday's episode. I gave a little tease at the end of it. I thought the most interesting thing that Kirby Smart said in his post-game press conference after the Clemson game. He talked about this. He talked about that. He talked about everything. And we have gone on at great length about Malachi Starks and his – I mean, I don't mean to exaggerate or hyperbolize when I say heroic effort that Malachi Starks gave on Saturday, playing out of position the entire game, shutting down his man, making highlight reel plays. When Kirby was asked about that specifically, and this coming from Kirby, it's interesting because Kirby said, hey, listen, I'm glad you brought that up because, which by the way, Kirby never says that to a reporter. He says, last week, Jonell went down in practice and we didn't know what we were going to do, which Clint, it's interesting coming from Kirby because Kirby is the king of cross training, the king of we got a plan B, plan C, plan D. Right. Like we will not be caught off guard by anything. Every contingency is covered. Every minute of the day is mapped out. Like that's how Kirby makes his money, and he makes a substantial amount of it. So he's fairly good at it. There was no backup plan for Jonell Aguero. Okay, we spent all fall, Clint, speculating, and we hate to do that, but we spent all fall speculating about whether or not Jonell Aguero would even be the starter at Star. We suspected that he would. All reports out of fall camp were good and positive, that he was progressing, coming along nicely, very talented kid. But we didn't even know for sure if this kid would be the starter. Not only was he the starter, Clint, but when he went down with injury, there was no backup. There is no backup to Jonell Aguero. How good, this is the question I'm going to ask you, how good must this kid be? How much must the coaching staff like this kid for him to be, for when he goes down with an injury, we're scrambling around all of a sudden, we got to move our best player out of his natural position and put him out of position and put in a true freshman on the back end in order to fill a hole, because Jonell Aguero's had that star position absolutely locked down for all of fall camp. Listen, I hope he comes back soon, and I hope the injury is not significant. But I'm taking away an overwhelming positive about how much this coaching staff must love Jonell Aguero.
Yeah, it was very evident when those statements were made, even coming out of camp. thought we heard Janelle's name quite a bit when talking about those who performed very well against a Carson Beck-led offense. And so we knew there was not just hype, but substance to it. When Kirby said, no, we didn't know, meaning exactly what you pointed out. We weren't making contingency plans. Every other position, again, we have 6 offensive linemen that we knew were going to rotate. There was a thought already in place that the second Xavier Truss showed a little give in the pass protection game, we were going to throw Freeling in there real quick, and they did.
Yep.
Then they had to go, okay, KJ Bolden, is he ready? Yeah, we heard his name quite a bit. And here's my comparison. If their scramble backup plan was to get KJ more reps, and they didn't think they could do that, meaning they didn't think KJ was up to the task that he did on Saturday. Okay, their assumption was he might be a step behind in this. Otherwise, it would have been an easy, here's what we're going to do. Piece of cake. KJ didn't start the game. He came in. It's substituted
plays
in.
in.
Okay.
Yeah.
He plays in. Okay. So what that tells me is if their perception of KJ is not ready and KJ balled, then their perception of Janelle Aguero is ready to go, y'all, we about to see something special.
I'm just saying, I'm getting excited about the Jonel Aguero experience. This is a very talented kid. And I remember, again, it's been years since we signed him because, he's a freshman last year. But then, we signed him almost a year before that. And I remember, we had a good friend of the show on, recruiting guy, on talking about Aguero. And he said, listen, I think this is the best player in the class. Like in the whole recruiting class of 2022.
Not just Northeast, not just defense, not just safety.
Yeah.
No,
so
we asked him, name your one dude from this entire class. Instantly went to Aguero.
Yeah, so we've been excited about this kid. Obviously some growing pains last year, but the coaching staff seems to be really bought in. And so as long as this injury doesn't linger, as long as it's not significant, as long as it is just a quick thing, maybe we see him work back into the rotation this week. Maybe he gets another week off. I would like to see him get some reps this week against Tennessee Tech. It would be nice for him to get out there, get his feet wet a little bit before we have to travel on the road to Kentucky. But either way, I think we're in for a big season from Jonel Aguero. So that was my first takeaway. We got more takeaways from this game, the Clemson game, more thoughts from around the SEC, all of that and more coming up right after these.
But first, I want you to know about Ultimate College Head Football and Coach. Please take a moment and get this game right now onto your phone. I beg you to do that. It's really, really simple. We're going to tell you how to do so at the end, but it's fantastic because you get to play in the shoes of Kirby Smart and Georgia Bulldogs. You get to pretend to be the man that's the best football coach right now in all of college football. It's an amazing simulation game that gets you in the step of that Kirby Smart dynasty. You actually get to be him, and you get to recruit players, hire staff, oversee training camp, and handle school scholarships. You control every crucial detail of your program. It's all in your hands, and guess what? Your name's not Billy Napier, and so you could probably make this a good dynasty.
You could probably handle it.
What I really love about this game. You could probably handle it. You are responsible for calling opposite plays during the game. Your strategies will not only determine the success of the whole team, but also shape the legacy of your program. Ultimate College Football Head Coach is completely free. No ads, 100% playable offline. You can also play it on the go as you want and where you want. Download the game. Just go to ultimate-cfb.com, ultimatecfb.com, or look it up at the app stores. Ultimate College Football Head Coach. With the promo code LOCKEDONCFB, you get an extra bonus to start your dynasty off well. That's what you need. Locked On CFB at ultimate-cfb.com, or look it up at the app store. Begin your coaching legacy today. Aguero does look poised to come back, and I do think we see reps from him. I think we see McLeod in there a little bit. I think a couple of guys got injured in the Clemson game, likely not. We just need to get a couple of guys up to speed. Daniel, there are a couple names that we didn't get to. I'll give you the dealer's choice. Do you want to talk about the SEC overall? You want to talk about the couple of names still left on the docket that we need to get to?
Hey, listen, let's finish up from the Georgia-Clemson game, put a nice little clean bow on it. Tomorrow we will be back on here talking press conference thoughts, what we heard from Kirby, Michael Williams injury update, all those things. We'll be back on here talking about that tomorrow. So let's put a bow on the Clemson game now, and then we'll begin to drift off into the rest of the SEC for the loyal third segments.
Okay, I just want to let you guys know. Here are two things that I observed. Look, you can't do much around Kirby. Kirby was asked today as well. The media wanted to get first looks into practice session, and Kirby said, "Yeah, keep wishing. It's not going to happen." Right? So you just have to observe things. You have to keep speaking and translating Kirbanese, which we are fluent in. And here's the thing that I realized, Daniel. I'm observing two things. One, our defensive line, we talked about it in yesterday's show. The depth is a little bit lacking because of the injuries, because of the lingering things coming out of camp. The second thing I saw, Ajonye played meaningful, high-caliber snaps for this, and he was the first that was after the big three. After the big three, Ingram, Dawkins, Miller. I know we had a couple injuries that the guys that should be big, so maybe putting into a 5-man rotation, but Ajonye was that first of the next crop in, Daniel. Big body guy, still relatively raw. And
raw as the day is long. Ooh wee.
But
he got some strength, some physicality, Clint.
He can move people.
When he comes in there with the hands, it is.
They call them cinder blocks. You got that cinder block hand. It feels just like 2 loads of cement popping you in the chest in his hands, and he has that, Daniel.
I love one of my favorite things about this game when you blow out a top 15 team in a neutral site to open the college football season. And a lot of teams won't experience this, and so they won't really know that some of the benefits of it. When you blow out a top 15 team in the first week of the regular season in the college football season, you get a lot of young guys, some meaningful reps against an offense. Listen to me now. Offense that might make the college football playoff. Clemson might make the college football playoff. And Ajonye, Justin Williams. Did Justin Williams do anything? Did Justin Williams come in there and do anything, Glenn?
You and I, Daniel, we talked about a couple recruiting classes. We talked about a guy coming in this year in this recruiting class that we're very high on. But Justin Williams said, "You shut your dirty mouth."
You remember here's the funny thing about that hit Justin Williams had. By the way, if you didn't see the hit, I'm sure you can find it on social media. If we find it, we'll repost it on social media. You can follow us at Dawgs Podcast. But Justin Williams absolutely lit somebody up in this game. It looked eerily similar to, you remember Chris Cole had a hit like that at G-Day, Clint. Oh, yeah. These two true freshmen inside linebackers are real good, Clint. I'm talking about they're going to be real nice. So I loved that. Ellis Robinson, some meaningful reps. He was out there. I generally speaking liked what I saw. He got a little bit cooked on a route. That's great learning opportunity for him. Again, he's going up against the Clemson ones, not the Tennessee Tech ones. The Clemson Tigers ones. So when you blow a team that's that good out, and in the fourth quarter, you get these young guys who are going to get meaningful snaps against, we can make fun of Clemson and Dabo and whatever all we want, against really good competition, really high-level Power 4 college football competition. It cannot be overstated how meaningful that's going to be for their development.
The depth of this team is ridiculous. The roster management is out there. 11 true freshmen saw meaningful snaps in this game. Gunnar Stockton, maybe not meaningful because he was handing the ball off quite a bit, but I understand what the statement is this. When we say meaningful, we mean these true freshmen, 11 true freshmen in the game, not shying away. We're not doing different play calls. On offense, we're trying to milk the clock. I understand that. Chauncey Bones gets, garbage time, just kind of chew the clock. I get that.
Chauncey Bones is going to be fine, by the way. He's going to be pretty good. He's going to be pretty good. The backfield's all right. These 3 backs we signed in this class, they're going to be all right, okay? We're going to be all right, y'all.
Clemson, ask me, betting favorite right now, if you give me a matchup in the ACC championship, Clemson, Miami, I'd say, sure. I'll put money on that.
I'll take Clemson. Yeah.
Do you see, guys, these
And we took them to
people
the
that showed up.
woodshed.
We're going to come back after this and let you know about a team that does know the
That
woodshed
knows
quite
about the
well.
woodshed. They know about the woodshed. Yep. They've been there. They've been to the
On the
woodshed.
receiving end
Yeah.
of the woodshed.
Yeah.
Right after this. But first, I want to let you know about 5 Hour Energy. Daniel, do you know about 5 Energy at all?
I know all
whatsoever?
about it. I know all about it. You hit a wall after lunch. You got a little lull in the middle of the day. You got a big, long to-do list. You got a mountain of projects in front of you. You got a whole pantry you're trying to build cabinets for and rework, and Labor Day was supposed to be your day off, but all of a sudden Labor Day didn't turn out to be anybody's day off, and you just out here working like a dog all day long. If that's you, and not me, but you, then 5 Hour Energy is what you need. Go to 5hourenergy.com. They are convenient, low on sugar, convenient portable sizes. They're great for whatever you need them. They've got a billion amazing flavors, fruit flavors, tropical fruit, grape, all sorts of delicious flavors. You can get a mix and match 12-pack, mix and match 24-pack. Go to 5hourenergy.com and use the code LOCKEDONCFB to receive 20% off your order. That's 5hourenergy.com. Use the code LOCKEDONCFB to receive 20% off your order. Can be combined with any other orders. Not good on subscriptions. Go to 5hourenergy.com.
Let's not bear the lead. Loyal third segment listeners that listen all the way to the end. You're not only making us your first listen, you're an everydayer, but you're a loyal third segment listeners, which means you're the best we have.
You're it.
You're our favorite. You're it.
You're
it. Let's not bear the lead with these people. Florida is in a death spiral that I have not seen in some time.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
I'm going to tell you the things that we were promised about Sunbelt Billy. Okay.
Okay. Sunbelt Billy.
I was
a Nick Saban disciple.
That's the first thing. He has a winning pedigree of a Nick Saban tree. 2, he knows how to win the tough championship games because when you're a Sunbelt champion like he is, you go up against the upper echelon. Proven winner. Point 2. Point 3. Once he gets his guys in the system, it's all
watch out.
Gonna change.
Watch
Point 4.
out.
He hires the best coaches to come alongside him. And
you know, that kid they got a defensive coordinator, that's a little mini Kirby. That's a little mini version of Kirby they got over there. That's what I was told.
I think what had happened is he's like clone 102, and with each subsequent clone,
you ever see the movie Multiplicity starring Michael Keaton? Each one just gets a little dumber. Listen, no one watching this show right now has ever seen the movie Multiplicity. Go watch it.
Old.
It's worth a watch.
It's worth
a watch.
Florida came out with all their trash talking, with all their 33 home opener wins in a row.
Sure.
Swamp.
Sure. The vaunted
Miami. The vaunted. University of Miami doesn't have anybody that plays defense. I mean, we're going against a lesser head coach. Florida fans honestly told me, and if you were to try to convince anybody, it'd be Locked On Bulldogs because we think Cristobal is a atrocious.
He's a buffoon. Coach. He's a legitimate buffoon. He outcoached Billy Napier up and down the field in this game.
This is the man who doesn't know how many timeouts he has in order to win games.
Man didn't take a knee and lost a football game because of it when he could have just taken a knee. He outcoached Sunbelt Billy all up and down the field on his home field on Saturday. Miami players are literally stealing Florida recruits out of the stands after the game.
In front of you.
Like making you watch while they do it. And then Billy Napier gets up in the press conference and he starts talking about people in rural Florida in their mom's basement, like typing on social media. Now listen, Billy, we also have a show where people write in idiotic things in the comments. And
I can show you.
We understand We understand about people in their mom's basements, okay? But maybe just like, I don't know, win a couple games. Like go for 3 this year. 3 games this year. Clint, is Florida going to win 3 games this year?
I'm going to tell you this right now. I saw today a predictive system that gave Florida winning percentage chance on the rest of their games.
Yeah.
They're above 50%, a grand total of 1 time.
Sam Ford.
That's the end. Everybody else, they are a 5% chance, a 9% chance, a 15, 20, 40% chance at most. But we're talking Florida may have one.
This is a team that plays Mississippi State this year, and they're going to lose to them. Billy Napier.
But it's
can I say? Go ahead.
Just they're going to win because they have the best recruit at quarterback, who's generational and wasn't looking like he was outside his gourd. And every other freshman I saw performed just as well as he did. He was above all the other freshmen that played this hack defense that Cristobal doesn't coach at home. Oh, no. Oh, no, the other freshmen played exceptionally well, and he looked lost as lost can be.
I saw some Florida fans on Twitter talking about bringing Lane Kiffin in to be their coach, to coach DJ Lagway. And I didn't have the heart to tell him, there's a pretty good chance Lane Kiffin might coach DJ Lagway next year. There's a pretty good chance that Lane Kiffin's going to be the coach of DJ Lagway.
You're right about that.
And DJ Lagway is going to be coming to Athens next year to play for the Ole Miss Rebels in Sanford Stadium.
Florida is going to implode very soon.
Yeah, I guess they're going to hire Jed Fish, the former Arizona coach, the current Washington coach, the soon-to-be Florida Gators head coach. And they're going to try to convince you that he is the answer, that he is the greatest coach that has. They told us that with Dan Mullen. And listen to me, Dan Mullen was 10 times the football coach that Billy Napier is. And that says a lot. No, look at what they've done.
That is record-wise. Interesting.
Okay. Florida is in absolute disarray, and I am 100% here for it.
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. He is I am Clint. This is Locked On Bulldogs. We're going to be back tomorrow talking all things press conference, all things looking forward to what is on the horizon for Georgia. Be with us every single day this season, and Saturdays for the Overreaction Special. That, by the way, is the favorite episode we ever did, and you guys make it great. Please keep interacting with us. We love you guys. It's the best. We'll see you guys then.
See ya.